This chapter and the time blocking exercise and the screen capture that I go through next is absolutely invaluable. I would encourage you to watch it a couple of times, 3, 4, 5, 10 times. Watch it as often as you have to. And maybe even as a good reminder, just to stay on task and realize that time blocking is not an exercise that's a one and done thing. It's a maintenance activity. No matter how well you're managing your time and your activities today or next week, understand that if you don't maintain that discipline, it's just going to go away. And the failure rate on time blocking is really high. So what I want you to do is pay attention to this video, because I just feel this is the most effective and bulletproof way for you to take really good governance over your time. All right, this is probably one of the most effective time blocking methods that you can adopt and pay attention to, because it's a little bit kinder, a little bit more gentle. Most time blocking has really high failure rates on it, because just like when we try to have a New Year's resolution, we're trying to forecast out over an entire year or an entire lifetime. And that is, it's January 1st. Your resolution is you're going to lose weight. And you're like, I'm going to get up and work out every single day, and I'm going to do this and that and this and that. And unfortunately, because you put so much pressure on the situation, the failure rate's really high. So instead, what I would like to do, instead of making these hard, fast, powerful goals, let's just have some guidelines and some recommendations around best practices, and then let's just see how that goes. So what you're looking at is just kind of a sample of a calendar that I've got in front of us. And so it's just good old Monday through Friday and Saturday and Sunday. One of the things that I like to do is just ask myself, what would I like to do? Like in a perfect world, if discipline wasn't a problem and money wasn't a problem and time was abundant and I've always felt wonderful, like what would I want? I'd like the ideal situation. Well, it'd look a little something like this, right? And so I went ahead and I'm going to work out from 4 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the morning, 7 days a week. Now, I know that that's probably not going to happen, right? But I would like to work out every day, and I'd like to work out for an hour. Another thing I'd like to do is I'd like to add leads. I need to add leads to my database 5 days a week, because I know if I'm not filling the top of the funnel, then I am not going to get to the finish line. I know that I need to follow up with people 5 days a week. And I need to follow up with my transactions, maybe every Monday, maybe Monday, Tuesday, something like that. So this is an ideal situation. But I also know that my reality is my core working hours don't start until, probably 9 a.m., somewhere around there. I work 9 to 4, 9 to 5, usually somewhere around in that. And that's my core working hours. And so what I like to do is stack up all these time blocks up above here, because these are the things that ultimately I would like to achieve. Now, I know my failure rate might be really high. I'm not getting up at 4 a.m. I'll tell you that right now. But that 4 a.m. time block, that is not because I'm going to get up at 4 a.m. What it is therefore is it's a reminder. It's a reminder for me, because right now, let's just say it's Monday and I got a bunch of white space in my core working hours. Let's just say my core working hours are from 9 a.m. to 9 to 4, and I got nothing planned, absolutely nothing. And I'm like, gosh, you know what? I had a great weekend. It's Monday morning. I'm staring at this blank piece of paper, and I'm looking for some recommendations. What are the things that I told myself in the past that I really wanted to do, right? I'm like, well, I wanted to work out for an hour. I need to generate leads. I need to follow up, and I need to follow up with my transactions. Well, when I take a look at the list of importance here, the most important thing is you better believe I need to follow up with the deals that I have under contract. And so I'm going to take that time block and I'm going to pull it down to my first activity today. And I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to make the calls I need to make in order to follow up with, I got 4 transactions under contract right now, and I also have 3 listings, right? So I need to kind of follow up with other professionals and see where I am with this. And I also think it's probably going to take me longer than an hour, maybe about an hour and a half, if I really focus and do the phone calls. So I'm just updating that particular session. Got it? Now, when I look at the rest of my day, I'm thinking, well, what else would I like to do today? I'm like, well, I would like to get to the gym, right? And I do have some time here. So I'm going to pull my workout down to between 1 and 2. Cool. I'm done. Look, I'm done planning for that day. I appreciate the fact there's some white space here, and I also appreciate the fact that I didn't add leads to my database and I didn't follow up with anybody. Got it? These are just recommendations in an ideal situation. I pull them down into reality. This color is the core color that I have for Google and Outlook. It's that powder blue color. But I do something. After the end of this activity, I go ahead and I change it to green. Now, why did I change it to green? Because that actually happened. The things that actually happened turned to green. And then I get, later on in my day, right? And let's say I didn't quite make it to work out today. I turn that one to yellow. It's just all there is to it. And what am I doing here? I'm trying to keep track of what actually happened and what didn't happen. Now, one of the reasons why people fail in time blocking so badly or so easily fail is that they're putting so much pressure on themselves to comply with what their ideal situation is up top. And let me just tell you, the ideal situation really never happens. It's not supposed to happen because we don't live in an ideal world. Because you're in the middle of your day and you get all these distractions and things start pulling you left, right, and center. Got it? Now, I didn't work out today. Does that mean I'm going to go and cry? No, I'm not going to cry. I'm just not going to work out that day. And so as I work myself through time, eventually I get to this very important time block that I add for 5 days a week. It's called Stop and Assess. Stop and Assess, what I do is I literally stop and I kind of take an assessment of what am I doing and what have I done today. So the three big things that I do during Stop and Assess is I look back over my day and I add additional information into my day. Like, for example, noon, let's say I had lunch. Noon, I had lunch with Bill, and it lasted 45 minutes. Great. And that actually happened, so I'm going to turn it that color. Got it? I had lunch with Bill, and that's what happened. Why am I recording the past? Because I don't want to get to a situation where I get to the end of my day and I look back and I'm like, oh, I did do 2 of the things that I thought I was going to do, but a bunch of other stuff happened, and I don't remember what the heck had happened. What the heck happened? I don't know. So you're going to use your calendar as a diary. During Stop and Assess, the number one thing you're going to do is you're going to document what happened during your day that you didn't actually plan for. Got it? So what happened during the day? Write it down. Number 2, what I want you to do is I want you to write down anything that generated an action item, and I want you to make time for it in the future. For example, I had lunch with Bill, right? But he said, could you come by my house on Thursday? Can you stop by my house on Thursday to do a CMA? Huh, yeah. Well, here's the thing. During Stop and Assess, one of the things that happened is I forgot that Bill wanted me to stop on Thursday. And so during my Stop and Assess time, I'm going to record things that I have to do. What are action items I generated during the day that I need to do something about in the future? Now, I'm doing this at 4 o'clock, okay, at the end of my workday. Got it? 3 is, if you're doing everything else right, 3 is not that important, but somewhat important, and that is, what happened yesterday that I just totally forgot about? What did I do yesterday that I just blew off? So I just go back in my calendar and I take a look. Number 4, what does tomorrow look like? What does tomorrow look like? Well, I didn't try to prognosticate out my entire day, my work day, and what I didn't try to do is just backfit it all in, because I know there's a high failure rate on that, because during my day I get a phone call and things happen, I get pulled in a different direction. So if it's Monday and it's 4 o'clock, I'm looking towards tomorrow, Tuesday, and I know I've got, a CMA, an appointment that I've got to do on Thursday, but man, I have some white space here. You know what I didn't do today on Monday? I didn't do any kind of my follow-up. I didn't add leads to my database, so I really got to get that done tomorrow, right? And then also, I really need to follow up with people in my database because I didn't do that today. I need to do it tomorrow. And then for me, I've got a simple rule. I just can't go 2 or 3 days in a row without doing everything here at least one time, right? So I didn't work out yesterday. Today, right? So that's my 3rd day didn't work out. I really, really need to work out tomorrow, and I just need to commit to doing it. And so I'm going to put it on my calendar. So here's another thing that happens during Stop and Assess. Stop and assess. It's 4 to 5 p.m. I'm looking to tomorrow. I'm looking what happened today. What did I do yesterday that I forgot about? I am not trying to predict my behavior for the next 30 days, the next 2 weeks. All that stuff around it takes 21 days to build a habit. And like all that is true. I get it. But 21 days? Are you kidding me? My attention span sometimes is less than 21 seconds. I don't know what the heck is going to happen next month. But if I start getting into a disciplined habit at the end of the day, looking at tomorrow, is my tomorrow planned or not? This has been a huge game changer for me. I discovered this about 20 years ago. Every time I go to sleep now, I rest just fine because I know that tomorrow is scheduled and it's taken care of. Now, there's a couple of exceptions. My core working hours, I go from 9 to 5. I don't want to work after 5. However, once in a while, I take a phone call after 5 p.m. and it's work related. That's fine, but it's an exception. It's an exception to the rule. It's not the rule. What I'm not doing is I'm not working around with a Canva flyer at 6 or 7 or 8 o'clock at night. I'm not obsessing about my database at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. I have plenty of time to actually take action items during the day to make that stuff happen. Now, if I am working after 5 p.m., there's only really one exception, and that is, let's say it's Tuesday and I stop and assess. I have a listing appointment tomorrow at 10 a.m., and I'm not really prepared for it. I will work after 5 p.m. to get prepared for my next morning. Now, how much I have to work after 5 p.m. is going to be determined by what other things I was able to accomplish today. Here's kind of the point I'm getting at. We all love being self-employed because we have total freedom in our calendar. The problem with that is that we have total freedom in my calendar, and a lot of times I don't have the discipline to do the things I need to do to get good preparation for my coming day or my coming week. My stop and assess time is all about that. What happened yesterday that I need to take care of? What happened today that I need to document a future event for? And by the way, what the heck is happening tomorrow? Well, if tomorrow morning I have a listing presentation, I better start working on that before 5 p.m. because I don't want to be stuck in front of my computer at 8, 9, or 10 o'clock at night. Now, a lot of you might have kids or some other hard stop obligation, and that's fine. I just want you to put it in your calendar. And maybe every day you got to pick up the kids. Save it. Boom. I know that I've got this hard stop, right? So I know if I'm going to have to do this between 3 and 4, that means that whatever I'm doing at 1 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, these things become really precious. After I pick up the kids, we come home, I get them settled, I always have to go back to my laptop, my desktop area, wherever I'm working. I need to stop and assess. All right, I picked up the kids. I got to get something ready for dinner. What do I need to get ready for tomorrow morning? Let me take at my schedule. Let me take a quick look at my time blocking for tomorrow. And I looked at tomorrow and I'm like, okay, I do have some time here, right? And then also, what happened today? Well, that actually happened. I actually was able to both follow up and add people to my list, and that took an hour. And I actually got my workout in, so I was pretty happy about that, right? So I'm getting 3 out of 5, right? 3 out of 5, 3 out of 6. And so I'm doing pretty well. Because the truth is, if I can predict at least half of the things that happen in my day and account for them in advance, I think I'm doing really, really good with time blocking. The average person's failure rate on time blocking is nearly 95%. And so that means if you try to lock down into this tight protocol of I'm doing this and I'm not going to do that and I'm going to look left, and it takes an awful lot of discipline. As soon as the phone rings, you're going to take a phone call, and all of this goes out the window. What I want you to focus on is recording what happened today at Stop and Assess, and then looking directly into tomorrow and figuring out what do you got going on there. Now, eventually your Stop and Assess time is going to push you out to the entire week, right? But I really just want you to focus on today and tomorrow and what happened yesterday. And more importantly, am I accounting for the things that I know that I need to do in order to grow my business? I have to add leads. I got to prospect and follow up with people. I have to call. I need to call people that I'm currently under transaction with, or I've got any other professional obligation. If I'm not following up, on my deals, I'm going to have a problem. Got it? You start predicting what's going to happen, and you just start pulling these items down into time slots that are going to work best for you. I hope that you found this time blocking exercise really valuable. Time blocking is a discipline, and it takes time and attention to detail. But also, in order to enhance your success rate, I need you to focus on today. What's going to happen tomorrow? What happened yesterday that I need to follow up on? What are the things that are falling through the cracks? Take your scope and narrow it down to a tighter time frame. Don't worry so much about the entire month. Don't worry about, oh, this year I need to make more money. All of that is tied up in what are you doing in the moment? Are the things that you're doing in the moment, are they effective? I know this can be complicated. Please get on my calendar. I'd love to be your accountability partner. I'd love to help walk you through this time exercise. And as always, I'm available. Go grab 15 minutes on my calendar. I'd love to help you in any way that I can.